Hey folks, it's Tim here. I wanted to have a little chat with you for a brief moment about True Crime Tuesday this past week. What exactly went on with that show and why exactly I posted that show, because I've had some questions as to why I would have Dr. Carol Lieberman on that show. Well, here's what happened. I got a press release touting Dr. Carol Lieberman, forensic psychiatrist, expert witness, and the case of Ghislaine Maxwell. And I've had a true fascination with the Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell case for quite a while. And I wanted to cover it on True Crime Tuesday, as this next part of the journey is going to be an interesting one with Ghislaine Maxwell. And I truly do believe, with her in jail and this black book up for auction, that we're going to see some interesting things happen with Prince Andrew. And maybe there's some other socialites and rich and famous. And I wanted to look at a more forensic criminal aspect of Ghislaine Maxwell and play a kind of a what if, like where does it go from here? Aspect of the case. And I wanted to review what exactly went on with Ghislaine Maxwell and what role she played in this case. And I really did want to review the case of Ghislaine Maxwell. I wanted to take a good hard look at the case. What I got, however, when I got into the interview was a complete surprise. I was completely turned on my ear. I had no idea that I was dealing with a Ghislaine Maxwell apologist. I had no idea that I was dealing with a victim shamer. I had no idea that I was dealing with somebody who was going to aid and abet a sex trafficker and sex offenders. My stomach turned as I was hearing things that my ears and my mind couldn't comprehend. I had to make a decision at that point. As my mind is reeling, do I cut this interview off? Which, by some of your correspondence, I understand you wished I would have, and I get that. It's fair. It's a fair response. Or do I interview and take the rare opportunity to interview the darker side of this issue? Do I actually explore this? I know you may be saying to yourself, but Tim, she doesn't have anything constructive to add. Or does she? You know, in 2020, in this day and age, we ask ourselves, how could this still be happening? How could sex trafficking rings still exist? How could people be kidnapping our kids and using them for this purpose? I kind of feel like we got a little bit of an insight. Dr. Carol Lieberman just showed us how sex trafficking rings among the rich and famous still exist in this day and age. It was appalling. It was shocking. It was disgusting. If you didn't feel slimy after listening to that, I don't know who you are. I took no joy in doing that interview. I really didn't take much joy in posting that interview. Now, I did post it. You may ask why I posted it. I only did it for one reason. It was not to titillate our audience. It was not to gain downloads or get people to do a, hey, listen to this. It was not for that reason. It was simply to motivate people to action. To motivate them to want to shut down trafficking rings like this, or to shut down sex traffickers and sex offenders and figure out a different way. You know, all too often, we set up interviews where we talk to experts and they tell us what to do. And everything is all fine and dandy at the end of an interview. But does it really motivate us to do what's right? There are two types of people in this world. Those who mean to do well and those who enable those who want to do bad. You got to see an enabler and hear an enabler on True Crime Tuesday this week. You got to see the other side, up close and personal. And yeah, it was ugly. It was terrible. And you should be offended. Now, I did receive some emails from some people that I do want to apologize to. And those are people that have been victims of rape and sexual assault. I have members of my family and friends of mine that have been raped, that have been victims of sexual assault. My empathy goes out to them. I in no means meant this show to lessen your experience, to bring those memories back up to you again, to make your experience any lesser, or to make you feel any lesser. That was not my intention. Please don't take that show to mean anything like that, or don't. Because what that woman said had nothing. It had nothing. It had no merit. Her words had no meaning. They had no merit. What I simply did was take a light and shine it into the dark to show you what happens on that side, that criminal side. That's what that show meant. I had an opportunity, and I took it. I should have prefaced it. That was my mistake. I should have prefaced what you were about to hear in that program. If I hurt some people, again, I'm not that type of person. I apologize if you were hurt by that show. I encourage you to email me because I do want an open and honest dialogue. Tim@darknessradio.com. I have had some people ask if I'm going to take the show down. As of right now, no, I'm not. I'm simply going to leave this message up, but I do want to hear from people. Either way, I've had some listeners say, boy, that is a tough listen. But they could hear me fighting through with Dr. Lieberman to get points across to her. She wasn't going to listen to him. If you feel like the show has no merit, that there's no point to it for it to stay up, I want to hear about it. But if you hear the reason that I'm saying I keep it up and you want it to stay up, let me know. I want to hear your arguments either way. I'm going to take a few days to think about it as to whether I want to pull it down or not. I know I'm going to keep it on the premium site. It'll stay on the premium site because my words are there. My description of what happened is there. Again, I wanted to give you some insight as to what happened on my end with the taping of this show. And my rationale as to why I wanted to continue and put the show together for you and let you hear it. A lot of times you don't get to see how the sausage is made with podcasts and radio shows. And now you do. I know I learned a lesson through this show. I learned a lot through this show. I learned a lot about how our audience and our community works. I learned a lot about what it is you guys want to hear. And again, I apologize if this is something that was just too much for you. And again, I'll do more to communicate with you in the future. In the meantime, I encourage you to keep listening. And I'll do more to be better in the future, to be more communicative with you, to bring you better topics. And again, use tim@darknessradio.com to let me know what it is you want to hear on True Crime Tuesday. Thanks much, folks. I appreciate you listening, and I appreciate you as a listener. You have no idea how much I appreciate you. And I want to tailor the show to you, so let me know what you want to hear. tim@darknessradio.com. In the meantime, on tomorrow's show, Thursday, I got a big surprise for you. Be sure to continue downloading the show. I hope you enjoyed today's show with Blue Meanie and Supernatural News. Keep downloading, keep listening, and know that I love you and I appreciate you. And again, let me know what you think and whether I should keep the show up or not from Tuesday. I won't make this a regular thing of pulling shows down. I want you to know that. I do stand by my work. It won't become a regular thing. But I do understand why this show would be particularly. All right, folks. Tomorrow, special guest, super secret surprise on Thursday. Have a good day, everybody.